You were very innovative in your approach to ensure that your ground force, as it were, was flexible. But was it also that the market in India has matured where it can accept a small car which looks very bulky and like an SUV? You said you wanted a completely new look for your vehicles. This is something which can be very risky, but is it also that the consumer has changed and is ready to look at new designs?
No, consumer I think was always matured. There was no options. So Indian consumer is very much matured, but you have to give him the right options. And I think at Renault we were able to do it with Duster and repeat that back again with Kwid. So when we launched the car, and the customer is also very rational. So when we launched our car, reach was a concern for us at that point of time, and we said we have to do a lot of innovative things. So we were the first automobile company who launched a app, which was the Kwid app, by which you can just go to the app, learn everything about the car, compare it with anything, and you can book your car and you can do the financial transaction on the app. Now this was the first of its kind in industry. And also, while there was a gap on improving our reach, we created something called virtual showroom. So even if you were sitting in a village in any remote part of the country, and if you have an internet, you can just go to the virtual showroom, and there was a live demonstration of product, and there was a consultant who can give answers to your question. So this was again for the first time. So I think not only the product, but also the right strategy by which you launch a product.
So you also made yourself more accessible to consumers, because sometimes consumers have questions and queries, and you allowed them to have a conversation with you almost in real time.
That's true, because what we did was we tweaked our marketing strategy largely from communication to conversation. Because it's very easy for a car manufacturer to release a TV ad and a print ad, and that's it.
And beyond a point, they all look the same.
So we said no, we have to work towards conversation, give more and more opportunity to customer to ask questions, to engage customer. And I think the success of Kwid is in recent time, this is one of the biggest success, and we have already sold more than 1 lakh Kwids.
What is how do you see this panning out in the next couple of years?
No, I clearly see, if you ask about, for Renault, yes, we have to continuously keep on working on innovation. And I think for the industry also, customer is looking for innovative products. Me Too is not going to work.
But here, you have Logi, you have Fluence and Koleos. How have they performed? Because they are all in very distinct categories. What are the categories, which are the categories that are working for you, and where do you think you need to work harder to make a better impact in the market?
So Pranjal, when we started our operations in India, as you know, we earlier had a joint venture, and then we stopped that, and we wanted to come back very fast to India. So we had a bridge strategy, and Fluence and Koleos were part of that bridge strategy before we were having our mainstream products coming in. So our mainstream product started coming from Duster onwards. So we have Duster, Logi, Kwid. Now these are the main volume drivers for us, and we have already done away as far as the bridge strategy products are concerned. And now going forward, clearly when I see India, we are having different segments, but the new sub segments are coming in. Like if you recollect, earlier it was only SUV. Now we have SUVs greater than 4 meters and SUVs less than 4 meters.
But the products that you have globally, which are popular, like Twingo and Espas, they also, do they resonate in India?
Not at this stage, I would say. So we have to also keep one thing in mind, that India is going to be the 3rd biggest market in the world, which means that you have to also work on certain products which are keeping in mind Indian requirements. So Kwid is one of the great example, even though it's a global car. So we will be bringing in more products which are going to
because Renault globally, I've seen, has a fantastic range. But this brings me to the question that the ownership concept in vehicles is also changing. Increasing number of young people find that ride sharing is a better option than buying and investing in a car because of traffic conditions, ownership cost, and various other conveniences. Where do you see India on this curve? How will this impact the Indian buyers market?
See, we see India today, we are still 18 over 1,000 in terms of car population. So which is very low as compared to when you see the Western countries, which is 400 over 1,000 or 500 over 1,000. So clearly an opportunity. A lot of people today are, not looking forward, not for financial reason, but we have certain challenges in terms of infrastructure. So, government has already announced the scrappage policy. So at least we will see old cars going out of road, and it brings opportunity for newer cars which are more efficient, more safe, and you will have more space on the road for people to drive and enjoy. So I think, and plus there is going to be infrastructure development which will help the industry. So consumer trends are changing, no doubt about it. But I think we still have a long way. The gap is huge actually. And we saw it very clearly with two-wheelers. Means that market exploded last 10 years back, and we are going to see something similar.
So you see that some car makers have done partnerships with the ride-sharing companies, so that the buyer for a typical vehicle is moving from individual to large institution. Do you see that impacting Renault, and is that part of your strategy for growth?
Not really, because if the car sharing and all largely is confined to only 2 or 3 metros. If we talk of Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, these kind of places, and largely the reason for that is the infrastructure challenges. So once we don't have these challenges, I don't think that there
so
will
you
be an
see
issue.
the growth in the underserved areas and markets within the country.
Largely, because if you take Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore and Chennai, these 4, they contribute only 25% of India. So we have still 75% of India which is eagerly looking forward to mobility solutions. And now with highways coming up, intercity travel increasing, so clearly an opportunity.
What about the focus again on green vehicles? So carbon footprint and emission norms are important. So electric vehicles, there is a big effort by the government to encourage that. Do you see Renault playing a role there?
Yes, we are in discussion on this front. So if I see Renault, while we are making most fuel efficient cars here in India and future ready cars.
Because your partner Nissan has Leaf.
Yeah, so Renault has got Zoe, and few more other electric cars. So Renault is the market leader in Europe as far as electric cars are concerned. And at this Paris Motor Show, we launched the new Zoe with the 400-kilometer range.
So do we see that in India as well?
So clearly, if you ask me, is Renault as a company capable and geared up to come into electric car? My answer is yes, we are capable.
And you will see it how the market develops in India.
Exactly. So few weeks back, I got a Zoe in India just to do testing how it behaves in especially the climatic conditions what we have in India. But I think the clear issue is 2. One is infrastructure, on which government will have to work strongly, and also we have to create an environment which is more friendly towards these cars. So whether it means in terms of special incentives or cut in duties, so something needs to be done to create an ecosystem which is which is friendly towards these cars. So I think government is making some announcements, but I see this not in immediate future, but maybe in mid-term future.